Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chopshop Network. This is episode 1 of our newest stream, our newest D&D campaign. Thornwood is what it's called right now. The name might evolve a little bit, because Collin and I had talked about another name, but this is episode 1, technically session 0 of Thornwood, and I am Charlie Chopshop, your dungeon master here on the Chopshop Network, and I am joined by 2 of the 4 members of the Thornwood party. That is Collin. How are you?
Hi.
And Finn.
Hi.
Are both...
Now, if you can't tell us apart from the highs, you shouldn't be listening.
Honestly, your voices sound so similar, but not always. Just when you said the hi, it was perfect. Like it was a perfect mockery. Anyway, so yeah, Finn and Collin are our players. Now, Thornwood, let me tell the viewers and you too a little bit about the idea of Thornwood. Thornwood is a forest, an ancient enchanted forest. It's just a piece of a larger forest, though. The larger forest being called the Eternal Forest. And Thornwood is like a province or a county. They often call it Thornwood County, the residents. But it's encapsulated in these massive, like inhumanly tall walls of like stone and metal. Some of the walls aren't even shaped like built walls, but more just like massive masses of rock and iron and steel. And not just iron and steel, but also a lot of the walls are made up of huge gears and chunks of clockwork and pistons and gaskets and all kinds of weird kind of mechanical work like that kind of intertwined into it. Now our world is deep and has a long lore, and the lore has to do with a curse hitting the world, and part of the curse caused the southern kind of third of the world to be encased in a labyrinth, like walls grew up from beneath the ground. So that's how this little section came to be, and we are just focusing on one tiny little chamber of that labyrinth. And when I say tiny chamber, it's like miles and miles across. It's massive in scale, the entire thing. So Thornwood is like a area of forest trapped in between some of the walls of this labyrinth in like a big outdoor chamber. Essentially, it's got a little hint of like David Bowie, Jim Henson Labyrinth with like some wacky magical. It's just a very enchanted place. Like the lines between the Feywild, where the fairies live, and kind of normal everyday life are blurred. You can easily wander into those magical places in a forest like this. And where we are, there are no humans. There are only the beastfolk. And the beastfolk all have amnesia in a sense. Not your characters exactly, but the collective society of the beastfolk don't know how they came to dwell here in the walls of the labyrinth. They can't remember anything before about 300 or 400 years ago. You don't have any history before that. So that's kind of an interesting aspect. And the other thing is humans are a legend among the beast folk. Humans are these massive, furless humanoids that built technology and machines and practice magic, just like the beast folk do. Beast folk being like mouse people, hedgehog people, otter folk, rat folks, birds, frogs, things like that. So humans don't exist here. A few remnants of human civilization do. And tales of humans do. Excuse me, I'm burping. I just ate a bunch of pizza. So, yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing. It's just like an all-animal civilization. Though you're quite civilized, but also in tune with nature and kind of built into this forest of Thornwood. So that's kind of a broad overview of what our setting is going to feel like. There's a little bit of Redwall mixed in here, a little bit of Over the Garden Wall, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, let's talk about characters then, and maybe the map and the lore. So I have almost no lore written, really. I just kind of drew a cool map that I liked of what I imagine the area to be. We can kind of decide together some of the lore for the different beast folk races. The map kind of informs a lot of the ideas for the lore. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We're just attentively listening.
Good. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. So
that means we're not we're like human size then. We're not like
no. The legends
little
all say that humans were way bigger than you.
Oh.
And all the ruins you find are massive.
Okay.
Like have
So what if I'm like looking at a tree? Is that like a giant?
This forest is ancient and magical and crazy, but yes, the trees compared to like a house that you would dwell in here
Yeah.
are huge.
Okay.
And a lot of people dwell up in the trees and build houses in trees and things like that, and in cliffs.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you? I want to do that.
So hold on, let me put some music on in the game because I love having background music, and I always program in a nice playlist. Let me know if you two can hear this when it starts playing. If it starts playing too, because the music player in Roll20 is a piece of shiz.
Oh, should I actually hit launch game in Roll20?
Yeah. So at this point, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks for the sub, Finn. And yeah, Chameleon, if you're in chat, you can help write lore as well. All right. So you all see the map in front of you. If you have the pointer tool selected from the top left, from like the bar along the top left of your screen, the topmost tool is just like an arrow. That's the pointer tool. You can right click and drag, not click and drag, but right click and drag. If you're on like the MacBook, I think it's like a 3-finger drag.
It's 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like scroll around the map, which is really nice. Instead of having to use the scroll bars on the either side.
Yeah.
Now you have
my mouse wheel also works though.
Oh, mouse wheel, yeah, nice. But that doesn't go left and right because sometimes you want to go left and right. So you can right click and drag left and right as well. So also you have a couple other tools in that bar. You have a ruler, and it's like a little ruler sticking out of a circle as the icon. And if you hover over it, there's some options. You usually want the no snapping option, not the snap to center option. It's up to you.
Snap.
And you can actually, so as you're dragging that around, if you tap right click, you can set anchor points. See how I have like points on mine?
Yeah.
As you're dragging it, you can set anchor points with a right click. Or Q. If you're on a trackpad, you can press Q while you're...
I see.
Tap Q to add anchors. Anyway, so that's nice. So see, that's measuring in miles on this map, which is nice. But it's also nice because you can be like, I'm going here. Like, you can point at things since we can all see it. So, looking at this map, where is your character not from? The first thing we're going to talk about, and you're going to want to take some notes in your journal. So remember where your journal was? Here's your first test. Pop quiz, kids. Navigate back to your journal.
Yo, I'm already in that bit.
And then press edit so you can edit the text. Let me know if you can't find it.
Can I load in my own picture of a journal?
Yeah, if you find one you like better. If you find one that's not, if you find one that's not fucking stupid.
I want to put a Hello Kitty journal.
Please, God, send me that, please.
It has to be on theme, dude. It has to be on theme.
Okay, so like a Dark Magician from Yu-Gi-Oh?
That sounds even better.
The back of a Yu-Gi-Oh card would be fine.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
All right, Finn, you found yours as well and opened it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, looking around this map, poke around. There's some labeled areas. And knowing nothing really about the setting, except for what the little bit I've told you and the other people, what place were you not from, like not necessarily where do you live now or where were you raised, but where were you born?
Shit.
Riverford.
Damn it, that's what I was going to do.
We could be from the same town.
No.
There's nothing stopping that.
And so another thing I want to talk about is the things that aren't on this map. So this map, Thornwood is like kind of a mouse-ruled territory now. Some other people live there. Thornwood is like an otter, or Riverwood is an otter settlement, I think. That's what I'm thinking. But let's talk about this. So some of the kingdoms that are nearby are also the Frog Kingdom, which is the Bullfrog Kingdom, let's say. And I think the Bullfrog Kingdom is probably not on this map, because like I said, this is mostly the mouse territory.
Okay.
There you go.
But so if you think about where the river leaves the map to the south, just down off map, that goes to a pond, and they call that pond the Bullfrog Kingdom.
So off the South Road. Right?
Yeah, right. If you follow the South Road down, it hits the Bullfrog Kingdom, which is really just the name of a pond. They sometimes call it Briar Creek Pond as well. So, we know where that one is. What other, like, people have societies besides the mice?
Squirrels.
Yeah, I think the squirrels probably have. I think they're kind of more like anarchistic, like a little more spread out, but they have like a loose set of principles, which is like to kind of guard the forest or be the sentries. Like they're the messengers. Squirrels can send a message across the forest through like their network really quickly, is how I imagine it. So what do we call like the Squirrel Alliance? Is that what it is? The squirrel, we can find another cool word for alliance.
Coalition.
Yeah, the Squirrel Coalition.
Is that what it is?
Yeehaw. I'm gonna take your silence as an approval.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Sorry.
Should I be writing this down too?
Maybe it should
Yes.
be
Yes, absolutely.
the
Can I
red.
look in your journal and copy it? Oh wait, I can't get. In your
I'm
journal, can I?
handwriting.
I am also handwriting. I have a Harry Potter notebook.
So I'm gonna say the
Take a
red
picture of that.
the Red Tail Coalition is what they call it, or sometimes the Squirrel Coalition, but their real name is the Red Tail Coalition for like red fox squirrels. Although gray squirrels can join too.
So they're not
Mm.
racist, thank God.
Thank God.
So where does the Squirrel Coalition dwell? It actually that could be on the map. It could be in any of the forests here.
The
Like
forest. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I
The
was thinking Southwood.
No way, the Elder Tree for sure.
Really? I
They're the
mean, I
skull-
guess that makes sense.
whoa, what if
They're-
the order, the Squirrel Coalition order, is like the guardians of the Elder Tree?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Nailed it.
The Red Tail Coalition guards the Elder Tree. Do you like that, Finn, or no?
Because this
Yeah,
is
that
up to
sounds
you.
Oh, is it up to me?
It's up to all
Yeah.
of us. It's something we should agree on and all like. We're building a world together here. I purposefully don't know the details of this map so we can do this together.
Listen, I'm no politician, so world building is not my strongest suit.
No, that's all right.
Um,
You don't. It doesn't have to be. Just think of what sounds fun to play in for you and get excited about the world. You have some stake in what happens and the consequences here. That's the point. Do you like the idea that maybe you don't even have to be from the Red Tail Coalition, but a lot of squirrels, the large majority of squirrels, are part of like a squirrel society. They live
So,
Squirrel Society, if you will.
They live in all of the forests, like the Southwood, the Eastwood, and the Northwood. Like they patrol kind of as the sentries and the messengers, like I said, but their main the Red Tail Coalition's leadership is based at the Elder Tree, and they have
That sounds good.
a
Yeah.
guard there.
Yeah, it sounds dope.
Okay, let me write this down. Do you all like
What
the
was the
map?
name of the Frog's Hood? What was the name of that place?
They just call it Bullfrog Kingdom, but it's in Briar Creek Pond,
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
because that's the name of the little stream that like fills the pond.
Oh, that makes sense. Actually, I see that.
See, I'm imagining because okay, so like I'm having scale issues in my mind, right? Because like I imagine a pond, but like from the perspective of a toad is like this big huge thing. So I'm imagining the possibility of like these like different towns built on these like huge lily pads.
Yeah,
Definitely,
that would
there
make the
can
most sense.
there can be multiple sediments in the pond. Like that's another region. So this is the Thornwood region,
Yeah.
and just south of Thornwood is is Bullfrog Kingdom. Also, it's the Briar Creek Pond region. So it's
Yeah,
like a
okay.
full-on pond. There can be like 3 probably settlements there, just like there are in this area. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, but like I'm saying, so like I'm imagining these like bullfrog societies all built upon the back of these like big floating like lily pad kind of
Totally. And that's something
guys.
that's something we'll explore later in the campaign if that's something that sounds interesting to you. Like, you know, you have to go back there for some reason and we get to see all the bullfrog towns and like meet the bullfrog like chivalrous noble tree and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm imagining it very like when did you play The Witcher?
Oh yeah.
You know the Toussaint pack?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm imagining it very like French inspired like that.
Yo, Falceries is here. What's up, Falc?
What up? Yo.
I think they're still here.
I have chat open on my phone and keep going to respond to it, but like.
Damn, fucking 15 viewers at what is it, like 1 in the morning where you guys are? 2 in the morning?
2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 in the morning.
We'll be done soon.
Don't remind me of what time it is.
So
Let's see.
cool. That's a cool thing that we've kind of established. So what other societies of people are there? So let's talk about who all lives around these parts. So there's like stoats, which are weasels. They are kind of loners, but they do mingle with the mice for the most part. Some of them will actually eat rodents, but there are goodly stoats.
Yeah, I view them as like a like bandit.
Yeah, totally. Badgers are friendly to the mice society. So the mice society.
I wouldn't imagine that badgers wouldn't be friendly to anyone because they're like just kind of dicks.
No,
right?
That's a myth. They're just large in stature, and they do.
Do you have one at home? Like, do you know this certainly?
No. That's like a myth in the universe.
Lore.
Oh, in the universe. Okay, sorry. I thought we were talking literally.
Yeah.
No. So they intermingle with mouse society pretty heavily. But though they are quick to anger. You don't want to make one mad, and they're kind of stoic and quiet, badgers. But when they get angry, they get really crazy. So, badgers are mingled with mouse society and live throughout the forest. Who else? Mice, squirrels, badgers. There's birds. The birds. Do they live in this forest or somewhere nearby? And let's say a specific kind of bird. There's like, let's say there is like the Raven Society. That includes like ravens, crows, and vultures.
Okay, so that's like would be like the horde side of things.
Yeah, they're like they're the scary birds that you don't like. But then there's like, let's say I like.
How about eagles, owls?
Well, I was gonna say then there's a owl that lives here.
One owl,
and he lives
probably in the elder tree.
In the elder
right?
tree, correct? Yeah, I was thinking that already. And what's his name? Like the elder owl. That's why it's the elder tree.
What's the name of the owl from Winnie the Pooh?
Owl.
Just owl.
All right, elder owl works for me then.
What do you think? We can come up with something else.
Fantasy name generator for owl names. Is that a thing?
Probably, actually.
They've got everything there. What bird types do we say there were again? There's
kind of three. Here's how I see it. There's the owl. There's a owl. Maybe there's a few other owls as well, but there's like this grand owl. And then like lesser, I guess, screech owls are the little ones, or hoot owls, barn owls.
No, you know what you gotta say, dog. Burrowing owls.
Burrow owl. What the fuck is a burrow owl? No. So it's this grand owl, and then a few lesser owls that live throughout the forest. And then like as far as societies go, though, there's like a society of ravens, vultures, and crows, and they're like evil. They eat rodents. And then the only other birds I really want to include are like the sparrow society. And like sparrows have a weird home somewhere. I think I know where I want sparrows to live. I think I'm
imagining like a cliff, and they like nest on the side of the cliff and stuff. And that's like their cities. They're built on the side.
I was gonna say like
if they're on a cliff, then they could be swallows instead of sparrows.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then they could all have cool big red eyebrows.
Well, I was gonna say, since they're sparrows, I like the idea that they live right on the other side of the gates of Mandoor. So
I was actually just about to say like somewhere over towards the west wall.
So if you go through the gates of Mandoor, you would know this from rumors around the region. Through the gates of Mandoor are what they call quote unquote human ruins. And they're like these massive buildings, like 10 times taller than your buildings with huge ancient furniture, but they're like really old ruins. And also a lot of people that go there die or become ensorcelled or just never come back. It's dangerous and not a lot of people go there, but right on the other side of the gate, I kind of like the idea that there's a statue of a human.
And all the birds live on the statue.
And the sparrows live on this giant sculpture, yeah. And like
I like that idea too. Like it's like someone sitting in a throne or something. And
yes, I love that. The king on the king in the throne statue.
Yeah.
It's totally a statue of Durin. It's like a man with a scepter, and then like hanging from, he's got his left hand held up in front of him, like he would hold someone's severed head by the hair, but instead it's a rope with like a knot tied in it, because that's his symbol.
Okay.
And our player characters would know this through like rumors or like maybe ancient tabloids or something.
I'm assuming that we
No.
have like completely different religious systems. Yeah.
You don't know who Durin is. You don't know who the man is. You just know
Oh,
it's
I'm
a
not talking
human.
about. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about Durin. I'm talking about where the swallows live.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was gonna say what.
And they trade and stuff, I would imagine as well, because like
Well, they're kind of
I would've-
simple and weird and like flockish, but like they always there's always have a leader swallow, and like they'll trade goods and services a little bit.
Yeah, because like I would imagine as like their domain being so close to like the man world that they like trek into the old human cities to get like materials that we wouldn't have, like metals and stuff
that's
like
true.
that.
Oh, dude, I love that. They're like they trade like
That's
weird
really
tinker
cool.
parts. Oh, that's so good. So they're like the scavenge the human world.
And like I imagine when they talk and stuff like that, it would be like more birdy than the other ones. Like oh, trade, yes, you
Yeah,
trade
right.
this?
They
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
simple bird minds, yeah, and like
Yeah.
They're very flock minded, except for like
Yeah.
the alpha bird is always like speaks for everyone.
Yeah.
So, what is the name of the city? The king. So the king and the throne. Some people like king's perch, king perch, throne perch.
I do like the idea of perch.
Throne. Oh, king roost, king's roost.
Oh yeah, that's really good. I do like King's Roost.
So I'll have to add that to the map, but I'm making a note of it now. So, and what is like the civilization of the swallows called? We have the bullfrog kingdom. It could be the swallow kingdom. It could be like.
All I know is if it's for the swallows with simple minds, it needs to be simple. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the simple bird minds, I figured it'd just be something very simple.
They actually don't have a name for their city. They all just call it home.
Yeah, well, they call it home,
I love
but
it.
like
But
what
everyone else
what do
has
they
to have,
call
like, a
their
way to
collective?
refer to
Oh,
it.
maybe like just the clan, Swallow Clan.
Yeah,
That makes
sure.
sense. I'm down. I'm also adding all this into my journal on Roll20.
Perfect. So we have King's Roost. I love that. What do we call the owl? The ancient owl, the grand owl, the eternal owl.
How about the Eldritch Owl? And that's why it's called the Elder Tree.
I'm down.
I don't know. I don't know if I like it. The word eldritch, I associate too much with Lovecraft stuff.
Okay.
So I think of like squids and shit when I hear it.
Hoodamandius.
I like it, but it's a little too tongue in cheek. But it's really good. What if it's
Right
just
on
like?
the nose.
What if they just call him Father Owl?
Okay. Papa Owl. Papa Owly.
Is this wait? I'm sorry. I thought we were naming the Society of the Owls.
No, just like
No.
the big owl, the main.
Oh, it's the elder
scary
owl,
owl.
right.
Yeah, I think people like kind of fear him, but they also think he like protects the wood.
Well, because he eats mice and stuff like that.
Every once in a while, I think it's like rare. He'll like swoop down and take a mouse, but he's also like saved mice from foxes and shit.
Yeah.
And they think of him as like this, like almost like a demigod.
He works in mysterious ways.
But
Praise be.
he doesn't bother the
Praise be.
squirrels. Praise be.
Jobless.
I think, man, I was just thinking of a good name for it. Oh, what if it's the guardian owl? He's like the guardian of the elder tree. I kind of like that.
I think naming this owl is going to be the hardest thing that we do tonight.
I'm choosing the guardian owl.
All right, go for it.
I'm down.
I'm sorry if you guys can hear my loud AF swallows.
No, I can't. Discord's pretty good about like muting you when you're not making very much noise.
Sick.
Guardian Owl. Got it. Okay, so we've talked about the Badgers, but we didn't say what the name of their society was. We get the Bullfrog Kingdom.
They don't have an organized
Oh
society.
yeah, that's right.
They either live in the forest or like intermingled with mouse and otter folk. So the otter folk, I think, like live in small groups. So they're just like families. So like a family of otters, like a huge family of otters, runs Riverford. What's the otter family named?
Otterman.
What about the... I don't know.
Yeah, this is hard.
I know. We don't have to come up with every single name on the spot either.
No, I got you. Otters. I imagine them as I imagine that they navigate the river via boats.
They swim too, but they have boats. That's like one of the services they provide at Riverford. So here's how I see Riverford. It's a fishing village. So the otters own and run it, this otter family, but a few other people live there, and merchants come through from like the Southwood up through to Thornwood Abbey. And also they have a ferry service there, so you can cross to Blue Cliff there if the ferry's running.
Okay.
You can also dock your boat there if you came down the river up the creek.
For a nominal fee.
Right, yeah. And they have like a little probably tavern restaurant thing going on. And then like a fish market.
Okay. And so this family, I assume, is like it's like you said it's like a big widespread family, and they kind of run the whole town.
It's not even like a town so much as just like a fishing camp where they have 3 or 4 buildings set up and like merchants come through. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's like an outpost kind of style.
So we're saying that they have a ferry, a tavern, an inn, maybe a shop, a small shop.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say that their last name is Winthrop.
Okay.
The Winthrop Otters.
All right. The Winthrop clan.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like the word clan because we use that for the swallows.
Oh, yeah. Tribe Winthrop. And they're like Scottish.
Yeah, or what if it's the brothers Winthrop and like...
Yeah.
It's their whole family. So it's like 2 separate families.
Well, it's the business is owned by the 2 brothers.
Yeah, right. They're like the heads of like 2, like their 2 families branch out. Like that's what I mean and live here.
Fucking nailed it. And I'm assuming that like in Blue Cliff, maybe like moles and like voles live in a little cave society.
Yeah, moles and voles are intermingled as well with mice society and also throughout the forest. It's pretty much all the things that speak what they call squeak speak.
Okay.
Hold on. The otters Winthrop. So that's pretty good. I don't think so. The rats live elsewhere. The rat kingdom, I think, is maybe to the northeast. Like if you follow the river off the map to the northeast.
Yeah, it definitely should be like in the same land as like the vultures and the ravens and stuff.
Yeah, it could also be north of the wall. Like the rats go over the wall to where the hill, like the dark hills are at the very top of the map.
Or like through little cracks in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They can like get through the wall.
Okay. I like that like in the illustration it's just like the idea of hills.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it fades off into darkness, like unknownness up that way. So it's up to you. What do you think? Rat Kingdom north of the wall or like in the hills or like if you follow the river to the northeast?
Well, so my question is like what's going on with Blue Cliff here?
Blue Cliff is the major mouse city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so here's the other thing that's not illustrated here that I want to tell you about Blue Cliff. So you see the like big mountainous chunk of rock with the gears and stuff built into it.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a cavern or some shit, like when I saw that.
There's a lot of this like giant mechanical clockwork type stuff built into rock formations and walls in this area. The walls up by the elder tree also have huge gears and clockwork mechanisms all built in and around and protruding out of the ground like ruins. Some of them still tick and pump, and like some of them are like literally built into chunks of the wall. The thing that Blue Cliff is built in looks like it used to be one of the giant walls of the labyrinth that you see, but it's like crumbled away. But the mice have built a city here, like in the caverns and the cogs and the gears and the clockwork, because, you know, like mice love living in grandfather clocks.
Yeah.
So like they've built a whole city in the cliff. But what I want you to know about what the map doesn't show is the mountain like wraps around. So you're like seeing through another cliff face. It's like two big cliff faces of clockwork facing each other with a few buildings in between, if that makes sense. So you're like seeing through a cliff face to the next cliff face when you're looking at the map, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I get it. So there's kind of like a natural like narrowing point there.
Yeah, the point is you can't travel south right here.
Okay.
Because there's another mountain, unless you go over a mountain. The only way to travel south is to either take the river or cross the river and take the south road.
Okay.
Makes sense.
To the south. So the Rat Kingdom are definitely enemies of the mice. The only last two things I want to talk about is the Rat Kingdom and the Raven Kingdom. So the rats... What's like the...
Rats are evil, right?
Yeah, they're like a military force almost. What's the head rat's name of the military force? Like he's their general king, like leader in general and king. He's real evil. He's probably got an eye patch. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
The problem that I have with naming things is that my head immediately goes to puns.
That's fine.
Can we just make everything a pun?
So they're like what would be considered like an invading force kind of. You said they're very militaristic.
Yeah, but like they aren't a problem. Thornwood's fairly secure and happy because of all the walls. So even like if we make them, that's why I like the idea they're on the other side of the wall. To the north.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is that like
yes,
so, like,
they are militaristic. Yes, they don't exist as much of a society as much as just like this dude's army, like this pillaging warband.
Okay, yeah, but so that means that they have like a very organized society, like kind of like Greek Roman.
Yeah, like very evil version of Romans.
So just regular Romans.
A little more bandit-like than Romans, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's with the same kind of organization and military. Yeah, they're like a legion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So a legion. There you go. That's part of the.
But we need the name of the leader.
Yeah.
I was thinking Squill. Like SQWIL.
Okay.
Squill's Legion.
Wait, that again? Say that again.
Squill. SQWILL. Double L.
Double L for sure.
Do you like that, Squill?
Yeah. But it definitely should be the Legion of Squill.
Oh yeah, I like that better.
Well, definitely yeah, I think people probably call it Squills.
That feels way more evil.
People call it Squill's Legion for like short, you know, colloquially.
Yeah, but let's just make it canon that it is the Legion of Squill.
I approve.
Okay. What do they call the Northlands? They just call the Ratlands.
Ratland.
The Ratlands, like two separate words.
Yeah.
The area north of the wall where the hills start. And it's like a lot of dead trees and forests and things like that and briars.
It's just real shitty. Yeah.
Is that where the ravens and vultures and stuff dwell as well?
Yeah, and they live in like these like societies that are based out of these big dead trees.
Cool. Also, like, I like the idea that they live in like, I was gonna say like massive skeletons, but I don't know what the skeletons could be from. There's probably no elephants that ever used to live here.
Yeah, but there's like any number of fantasy creature that could have.
Yeah, that's true. They just live in like, oh, what would be a good one? A dragon skeleton? Like they live in like a massive rib cage of a dragon, like with like growing out of the wasteland ground.
Yeah, and And that's the reason why, like, it was a black dragon, and that's the reason why the ground all around it is all, like, dead and shit. Whoa.
That's cool. So it's all barren up there because a black dragon died there and decayed away. I like that a lot. So let me write that down.
Also, I did change my journal to a Yu-Gi-Oh card, by the way.
Sick.
What do we call the bird group? Because it's not just ravens. It's like rooks, ravens, vultures, crows.
You want them all
blackbirds
clumped together, right?
Like all the evil, carcass-eating birds.
How about just carcass-eating birds? I'm a real pro at this if you haven't figured it out yet.
Their profession is fleshmonger.
The Carrion Kingdom? They are carrion eaters.
Yeah, somebody in chat actually said carrions.
Yeah, carrion.
And somebody else agreed with them, so I'm gonna have to roll with chat on this one.
Cool, carrion. I like Carrion Kingdom. It's the only other kingdom.
Sounds good. Good job, chat. You're better than we are.
I feel very on the spot.
I saw that without looking at chat. It's okay. It's supposed to be on the spot. You'll have to make less broad decisions and more character decisions in a second, so that'll be easier. So the Carrion Kingdom, what is the ruler? Is it a council? I kind of like the idea that it's a council.
I think since it's a group of different kinds of birds, that it should be a council, like maybe one of each kind of bird.
Yeah, I'm renaming it instead of Carrion Kingdom, it's Carrion Council.
Carrion Collective.
Dope.
Yeah, but collective is really close to coalition, which is what the squirrels have.
I like council better.
The Carrion, and it's led by like one leader of each of the like bird types that are there. So vulture.
And then where exactly are they on the map? Like that
north of the wall as well, just like off the map, north of the wall.
North of the wall.
Northeast.
Oh, in the Northlands.
Yeah, in the Ratlands. Yeah, northeast. Vultures, ravens, crows, and blackbirds.
So we said east of the Ratlands, right?
Just northeast of the wall, up in the Ratlands. They just call anything north of the wall the Ratlands. So yes, technically in there. But what's the city where they like live in the dragon skeleton rib cage called? Bone White.
Damn.
I kind of like that for the city name, Bone White.
Well, that seems too pure, though. I want something dark.
I think that seems pretty dark, the city of Bone White. Also, it's kind of like, I like the opposite effect. Unless you come up with something better, that's the name.
I can't, Charlie. We already know that.
Yeah.
Or what if it's Bone Black instead? Blackbone?
Fucking edgy. I like Blackbone.
So the city of Blackbone? Isn't that like a little too sexual?
Is it? I don't know. I think we're all adults here.
Yeah, we're all adults here.
All right, as long as you don't make fun of it.
Look, I can't promise anything.
Cool. So that's a pretty good lore flesh out outside the Mouse Kingdom. We probably won't even get out to those outer areas until you get a little higher level. Most of the adventure is going to be here in Thornwood at first.
I would imagine we would get obliterated if we tried that too soon.
And, well, like the Bullfrog Kingdom, you're friendly with them. The Squirrel Coalition, lives in the Thornwood. The King's Roost is just outside of the Thornwood. Riverford is in the Thornwood. The Legion of Squill is to the walls to the north. Yeah. So what I want to talk about next real quick is the languages There is common, just quote unquote common.
Yeah.
There's also squeak speak, which is the mouse language, but some other races use it, like moles and voles. Voles are basically mice. There's also then like the other basic languages are river speak, tree speak, and that's it. Unless you can think of any other ones that would make sense. I think maybe like Sylvan as well.
The frogs should have their own language, I feel like.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. I mean, river speak is like what otters speak.
How about toad speak?
That's croak folk.
Yeah.
Croak folk.
It could be croak speak.
Yeah, I'm down. You just call it croak.
Yeah, croak speak. And avian.
Cool.
Which you can only speak if you have bird faculties like a beak. You can maybe understand it though. So those are the languages you have to choose from. Your character should already have some. But like the D&D standard languages might come in more later. But that's like what's spoken around the area.
What was river speak for? What did we decide that on?
Otters mainly, but others use it as well. Frogs use it, water bugs use it. Yeah, otters use it. I think like minks and woodchucks. Anything that lives near the river. So that's the languages. Alright, so now that we have a really much better idea of maybe some of the lore. Inside the Mousewood, there is a church. Thornwood Abbey, as you see. There's also a city, Blue Cliff, built into these mechanical gears and such. There is a small river outpost, Riverford. There is a bridge, North Bridge. There is a society at the Elder Tree built into the gears and the rubble there. And that's pretty much it. And then there's all the forests and the creek. So where were each of you born? Out of the places we've talked about and the places on the map, write down on your character sheet or in, like, start a little bio section, write down where you were born.
On the character sheet, right?
Yeah, or wherever you're going to track it, or in your journal. And tell me what it is as well. Tell us that in the
Twig
audience.
Bluff.
You're from Twig Bluff, so...
Which is right outside of the Elder Tree.
Yeah, that's kind of like a lot of nature, but people have, like, little cabins and small villages. A village being literally just, like, any where more than one family has decided to live near the road, you know? So yeah, it's like a brushy area, but there's some folk that live in there. Very wild. Or very wilderness.
So I'm from Briar Creek, Pond, but there's cities within that have it.
You can come up with the name, think of the name of the city you're from. If you can't come up with it right now, that's fine. Just put Briar Creek Pond.
I want to call it Cacophony.
Okay.
Cacophony.
Well, remember, Collin, we had talked about the name of the campaign maybe being Serendipity. I was going to ask you if maybe that was your character's name, because I liked that.
Oh, no, I already named my...
Well, maybe there should be a city named Serendipity and one named Cacophony.
Okay.
I have to use the bathroom so bad.
You can go real quick if you need.
Cool.
Well, we're almost done. But feel free to, hop up real quick.
Okay, and then you said like let's say that there's like 3 major cities there.
I don't think major. I think there's like 2 settlements in a city.
Okay.
And then like mixed people just living out in the wilderness.
Okay.
So Cacophony's like the main city, and Serendipity's like the smaller village.
Yeah.
And is the Frog King named King Jeremiah, or is it something else?
I mean, that's what it says on my character sheet.
Okay. So he has a small castle there in Cacophony.
Okay.
And cacophony, I think, might be like a joke to the frogs because they're all fantastic singers.
Well, yeah. I just imagine it as like, you know, like how fucking frogs are loud as shit. So
yeah,
I
but to
imagine them
them,
as, like,
that's like a great
won't.
sound. But you're right, it is a fucking racket. All right, so right down where you're born.
Got it.
Now, after you were born, and you were old enough to become an adult, what was the job you started doing? And I can give you a list of jobs if you'd like. It could be your background, but your background doesn't have to be the very first job you had either. But some ideas could be like archivist, apiarist, meaning you raised bees, an armorer, baker, boat crafter, brewer.
Yeah, I was literally about to say I originally needed boats.
Cool.
And then
That's pretty dope as a frog. That makes sense.
So
I got into the clergy.
Put first career or first trade somewhere, and
Okay.
at the age at which you entered into it.
Okay.
So some more: a brewer, cartographer, carpenter, cook, fighter, haggler, harvester, healer, hunter, insectrist, instructor, laborer, lore mouse, manipulator, or which would be like someone that uses the mechanical stuff, orator, a miller, like you run a mill, a hunter, a potter, a fisherman, a scientist, a scout. Probably not a scientist. This is like what you did at a young age. A stonemason, a smith, a survivalist. That's pretty much all of them. Anything stand out?
And we should not use what our job is in our backstory.
It could be. No, it could be your background. If you think you went into that as soon as you came of age, then yeah.
Yep.
So type that down. Now, what in your childhood, Finn, your character's name is Nyx?
Yep.
What in your childhood led to you becoming a bounty hunter? Where were you living when it happened? You were living in Twig Bluff area?
So my question, Mr. Cartographer, is around Twig Bluff, these little trees here, is that like the little, almost, oh wait, I can click on the map. What am I doing?
You can, with your pointer tool, if you click and hold, it pings.
Aha, yes, so this.
Yeah,
This area.
It's like scrub, it represents scrub brush and smaller trees and brush.
Okay.
Mainly brush and tall grass and things like that.
So my whole idea, right, was that pretty much grew up mostly alone, which is why I was thinking Twig Bluff, just because it's not with the direct Red Tail Coalition. So, and then I met somebody in Twig Bluff who pretty much mentored me, which is where I ended up coming into bounty hunting, because that's what that person did.
Okay, so let me ask you this. These bounties that you're picking up and collecting on, who is it that issues them? It could be multiple people. Like, do you get them from the Red Tail Coalition? Do you get them from the Frog Kingdom? Does Thornwood Abbey sometimes employ you, or Blue Cliff too, or Riverford?
See, what my idea was, which is before we expanded on this lore so much, was that like some of the jobs were handed to me from my mentor, but then starts to stretch out as I start to do it more with him.
But even him, like, there has to be a bounty hunter, there has to be a client. There has to be a source of law that wants certain people to be caught.
What if all the bounties come from the owl?
That's dope.
Well, I mean, that would come from the Red Tail Society. Like, you can't go talk to this owl, but the Red Tail Society
obviously
is like his guardian.
Yeah, so let's say the Red Tails.
But I'm sure the Frog Kingdom has people they want caught. And I'm sure, everyone can use like some policing from time to time.
Well, that's the thing is like, and also it really depends on like money and like how badly I would need it. So I would like to think like jobs closer from home, but so like the Elder Tree, so the Red Tail Coalition. But then when those jobs start to not come as often, or I need something more, then that's when you start to stretch out towards other areas to see if you can pick up jobs from the Bullfrog Kingdom or something like that.
Slow down. Let me ask you this. How old are you?
So like the age starting our quest is 25 was what I clicked.
And how old did you look at your race and see what age they become? Because animal races are different. Like, I think squirrels only live to be 40 years old.
65 is what it said on the sheet you sent me.
Okay, so
And come of age at 14.
At 14, so you're like pretty well into your adulthood now.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a bounty hunter then? For a while. You've done some jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
And people around the Thornwood know you?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Which also ties into some of the skills that come with my class. Like one of them was like, I think ear to the ground was one, but now this one's like the shit, what's it called? Pretty much one where I have a connection with like
criminal contact.
Criminal contact, yeah. Originally with the urban bounty hunter, it was like ear to the ground, but yeah. So like criminal contact, where like now I have connections with people and places that we go because of this. It was my whole idea. It was like cool. Now that I've done this for long enough, people kind of know me.
Sounds good. So you were born in Twig Bluff, one of the bounty hunters that worked independently of the squirrels for see, I don't like the idea. I think if you worked for the squirrels, you'd just be part of the order. That's why I kind of like the idea that you maybe got bounties from like Blue Cliff or something, or Riverford or Thornwood Abbey, because if these squirrels have this like almost kind of, you know, order of watchers and defenders in the forest.
Oh, how about this? How about from the Bullfrog Kingdom? And then, since we were talking about how did the adventurers meet each other, things like that.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. You don't have to worry about that part yet. I'll give you the reason why you all are together soon.
That works.
We'll talk about how you know each other. So one thing you need to think about is your characters know each other. But here's what I'm going to say. So maybe your background isn't the thing you did right when you came of age. Maybe you were a member of the Redtail Coalition. And that's how you met your mentor. Like right as you were leaving, you were kind of lost and you met this guy and he was like, and maybe you had some resentment for them. Like it was something you did just for a short while, like a year or two, to get some training. Because you have to be pretty skilled just to become a bounty hunter out of nowhere. I don't know if you like that, but that's like when you became, we're 14 years old, you spent like a year or two in the Redtail Coalition and you didn't like the way they operate. Like, here's a good place for us to insert some drama. Like, what dramatic incident happened that caused you to be like, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, I want to bring justice my own way, like not this way. Like you saw one of your superiors do something bad, or
so let's say that the Redtail Coalition maybe handles law in a less dirty way, more clean way. So like less relying on bounty hunters and things like that. And let's say, so the whole concept behind my character originally was that I didn't grow up with parents.
Mm-hmm.
So starting in the Redtail Coalition would make sense because then maybe somebody in the council helped raise me or something of that nature.
So you had like adoptive parents?
Exactly. So slowly, as I started to become more of age, questions start to come up about that. And then you realize that maybe my parents were murdered or something of that nature.
Okay, cool. So we'll talk more about your backstory in future sessions and that kind of things and how that ties in, why you were an orphan who raised you. But I like that. So you were like this kind of orphan character. You went to the Redtail Coalition for a year or two. And it wasn't that they did something awful. It was that you felt held back because you like couldn't do the actual detective or like the dirty work you thought you needed to do.
Yeah.
Cool. So, but we need to insert some drama around when you leave. So maybe your superior was also your adopted parent?
Yeah.
Because that's interesting, right? Like they're a superior member and you left. You're like, fuck this. I'm going with so-and-so, this mentor character.
Exactly.
What's your mentor's name?
I picked Knight was what I picked.
I like it. Yeah, I remember reading that.
So something happens, and I feel as if I should take the law more so into my own hands, and that the Redtail Coalition is holding me back. And then I meet Knights, which also makes me think that maybe I should leave with Knight, which is then where this drama comes up. Then I said, screw this, I'm going to leave with my new mentor. And that's when I start to get more trained into bounty hunting.
Cool, I like that a lot. So I got notes on that. All right, so let's skip over to you, Collin, real quick. I know it's getting late, y'all. We're almost done.
I'm not stressed.
Yeah, I'm not stressed at all.
Collin, where were you born? You were born in Cacophony?
Cacophony. Yeah.
What did you do right after you came of age? What was your first job? A boat maker?
Yeah, so my parents owned a pretty large boat making business within Cacophony.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had contracts with the Riverford Otters and would sometimes transport stuff for Blue Cliff, but mostly we manufactured boats. And there's a lot of politicking that goes on, like within the Bullfrog Kingdom, like amongst the minor nobles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And through like some shisty dealings, like a minor noble seized control of my parents' company.
Okay.
And
Through some like business dealings.
Correct. Yeah.
So what's your character's name?
Slipracilla Toadoronimus.
But the people call you Slip.
Yep, Slippy Toad.
What's your last name? Toadoronimus?
Yeah.
I love it.
Toadoronimus. Okay.
No E at the end.
Yeah, just writing in pen is hard.
M-O-E.
Sorry, I'm coughing so much. So, you lived with your family who were boat makers in Cacophony.
Correct. Yeah. So I was sort of, like being trained
Right.
to come up to do that. But then our company got taken out from underneath of us
And your family was left.
with nothing. We became paupers within the city,
Okay.
and not wanting to set the burden of my care amongst the parents, because this all happens right around the time I would be coming of age.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set off into the world to find my fortune.
So, what are your parents doing?
They're just like surviving within the city.
Okay, they have like a hovel kind of thing.
Yeah, like, or maybe not even within the city, like on the outskirts of the city.
So, you set out to like do what now?
No, how about this? Okay, how about we lose everything so we turn to the members of the Abbey to take us in?
Oh, I like that. Or like, what if your parents send you to the Abbey because they can't take care of you? Like, they don't come with because they're home.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
they'll only take children.
Okay.
They don't like want to leave you behind, but they have to.
Yeah, and then that makes sense too why I would be a cleric. So I like sort of like was gonna be a boat maker, but then I ended up coming up in the church.
Mm-hmm. All right. I like that a lot. So let's really quickly talk about gods then.
I love talking about God.
Here's how I feel about the gods when I think there should be. I think there should be spirits that a lot of people worship. I think like we should have a river spirit or a water spirit. I don't know, whatever you think is better. I think river spirit. Well, that doesn't apply to like lakes and ponds though. Like the frogs worship the water spirit, maybe.
Hmm.
And like a lot of the squirrels and mice worship the forest spirit.
And the birds, the air spirit.
Yeah, or the sky spirit.
I like that sky spirit.
And the rats are all atheists.
No, I think the rats all worship they're like an owl cult. I was thinking could be, or if not the rats, I like the idea that there's other people that are in an owl cult, like a small cult, but that doesn't mean they actually have like clerical powers.
I just like to like imagine the rats in my head as these like fuck you, we're making shit out of gears that we find.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is I don't think anyone is atheist because people know that gods exist and have powers. You know, Even if you don't worship it, you still believe it's real. But
Yeah, that's a valid point.
so I like the idea that the rats with the gears and stuff maybe worship
Like some sort of like mechanical god.
mechanical thing. Yeah,
The ancients.
just a contraption.
Yeah, what if they just had like a big ass clock in the middle of their town?
Oh, that's perfect.
What if it's I was gonna say, what if it's a music box?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
I don't know. What do I like better, the clock or the music box?
Or like a Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Or I kind of like the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I like both the music box and the clock. The music box feels like it has the potential to be like sweeter. I guess if it was like all like fucked up though, and like bent up, it would play a really strange melody.
Yeah. What about what other like mechanical? I was gonna say like I don't know. Huh? Or instead an electric can opener.
Yeah, just any sort of
Ancient.
Sorry.
I
I'm
kind
just
of like
imagining.
the idea that they have a complete clock because there's all these clock gears around.
One
Yeah.
singular complete clock
But
in
it's
this
like-
whole rat land.
It's like huge and sticks up out of the ground.
And it like really menacingly every hour on the hour goes like boom.
boom, boom, and like they come and worship when it rings.
Yeah, and you can kind of hear it if the wind's blowing right over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
What about, so how about we just combine everything into a clock that like also plays music?
Well, let's say
Like,
it does like the
like-
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
What if it?
But like, but
what if
it's
they
so
just
old
call
that's
it-
all distorted now?
What if they just call it the grandfather? Like that's the guy because it's a grandfather clock.
Yeah, so they worship the grandfather. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm into it.
Like praise to the grandfather. Like the rats all like fucking.
Ugh. Ugh, that's so
love it.
gross.
I love it.
And then they're like their emblem on their shields and stuff because they're like a waristic society could just be like a clock, with both the hands on 12.
Yeah, for sure. I think some of the some of the what did we call it? The Carrion Council probably worships it as well. And I think they're probably they're like in league with the rats or have a tenuous alliance with the rats.
Well, I was thinking maybe even that they were not connected at all because like the birds wouldn't like to go to their town because the clock chiming like scares them off.
Oh, that could be. That's why they moved there in the first place to escape
Yeah.
the carrion birds of like the wasteland up there.
Yeah.
Cool. So the water spirit, I'm just gonna say otters and frogs mainly worship that, but that doesn't mean like you specifically are bound to that. You probably even might want to worship the forest spirit because you grew up at the abbey.
Yeah.
So I think the abbey is though probably a temple to the water, the forest, and the sky spirit, but mainly the forest spirit. Like most of the priests there are priests of the forest spirit, but like they have shrines to all three, and like some people probably worship all three: the water, the forest, and the sky. Like just
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't if you know that they're real.
just depending on what you need in your life and like what you're asking for, you pray to different ones. You know, if you're gonna travel by boat next week, you pray to the water spirit.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know, if you live in the forest and are hoping for a bountiful clutch of acorns with your, gathering, you pray to the forest spirit or whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm into it.
So what's your god of choice?
The forest spirit,
All
for
right.
sure.
Does it have a name?
Oh, sweet forest spirit.
Man, this is the hardest part of this fucking game.
What about Kowei?
Ugh, I don't really. That just feels like
Kowei.
on the nose.
Why?
Like I don't know. There's like I
Too
don't know.
too Tolkien-esque for you.
No, like too like real god-esque. Oh shit, my computer went to sleep. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the elder tree.
Like the elder tree is the forest spirit.
Yeah.
That I like that.
So
I
like
like it.
you pray to the elder.
Okay. Yeah, and then like the toads pray to the pond that they
Mhm.
all live in.
And that'll be the water spirit.
Yeah.
I dig it. I can
And then
get down with it.
The sky spirit is the sun
Nice.
and
Yeah.
the moon.
I'm sorry, repeat that, Colin. I missed that.
The sky spirit is the sun, and then
Okay.
I said and the moon afterwards. but,
Okay. Cool.
I think the toads all pray to the river that feeds the pond.
Okay.
So the water spirit they call Sister River, the forest spirit they call the Elder, and the sky spirit they call Brother Sun.
Okay.
Praise be the sun.
If only I could be so gloriously incandescent.
And then there's the grandfather. Cool. I like that little pantheon. Got that all sorted out. Now let's talk about how you two know each other and what brings you all to Thornwood, where we find you now. Do we find you at Thornwood Abbey when we pick up and you're a group? Do we find you in Bluecliff, at Riverford?
Well, I would imagine that we have had dealings, considering that we like grew up within the same time frame in the same area.
And also, I assume that sometimes you use his services, maybe not necessarily to like kill and bring someone back,
Well,
but
maybe
like,
bring somebody back alive was
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But
like,
also
if you go to-
that's exactly what I was gonna suggest was like maybe I picked up a job from the
church.
clerics. Yeah, from the church.
Well, I was gonna say, what if one of the children got kidnapped from the orphanage by like some rats or some spiders, and it was
Spiders.
and it was
Ooh, fucking
your job to go, like, they hired you to go find them, but like maybe you've had adventures together before, we can say. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a dungeon world style character bond, which is really interesting. You can make up details on these, or I can give you some suggestions. Things like a character bond is a relationship you have with a person or something you've experienced with them in the past, and then like how you feel about it. So it's like a feeling that can be resolved. So you could say things like, I saved Nyx's life from a spider, he still owes me, or they still owe me. You know what I mean? Could be a character bond. It's just like a sentence that describes a past kind of thing that you've had together. It doesn't have to be something like life-threatening either. It could just be like, I treat Nyx like my brother, or like, I appreciate Nyx's services, but I still don't fully trust them, you know?
They borrowed $5 and never gave it back.
Yeah.
Fucker.
But then you have to add a feeling. I feel X about this. Like, this is your character.
Is this therapy? This feels like therapy.
No, this is screenwriting. We're writing character motivations towards each other and building backstory with each other. So what's an adventure you all went on before? I like the idea that the mouse, a mouse child, was stolen from the orphanage, from like a spider playing out in the forest, and they hire Nyx.
Hell yeah.
And
Nyx gets the kid but is bitten, and I use my holy cleric magic to like heal him.
Oh, I love that.
I like it.
So did you go with Nyx like on the quest?
No, Nyx like came back through the door on death's bed with the mouse child.
And that's where our bond meets. Is like I did a job for the church, but you saved my life when I completed the job.
Right. So a good way to write this bond, like for Collin, you would write like Nyx rescued Nyx rescued the missing orphan from my church, but I had to save them from spider venom.
Yeah.
And then like you got to add a feeling like I'm forever grateful to them, or like I feel like I trust them in all my dealings. Just add a feeling or a thought to that, something that can be resolved or challenged. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely before the church hired Nyx, being like young and idealistic in the ways of God, I kind of thought like the mercenary work was like kind of dirty.
Oh,
I wasn't really
sure.
into it.
Oh, so that could be your feeling. So like Nyx changed my mind about the adventuring lifestyle.
Exactly.
So it could be, Nyx saved a child. Nyx saved a missing child from my church, but I had to save them from spider venom. Period. The next sentence would be, they changed my mind on the adventuring lifestyle, or changed my mind about mercenary lifestyle.
That also ties into how we met too, since you asked that question, like how did we meet?
Yeah, a better way to even write that would be like, I owe them for showing me my love of, or for like teaching me my love of adventuring, because then you owe them something. Anything that will give us a story arc later, the way it's phrased. So, Finn, if you wanted to write that in, it could be like, same, like just the opposite of that. Like I saved a missing child for Slip's church. And Slip saved my life from snake venom. I owe them everything, or like I'll always stay by their side, or always be in their debt, or like despite helping me, I still don't like them, or you have to add a feeling. How your character feels about the situation.
They didn't pay me enough.
And this is what we call a bond. Character bond.
Yeah, like for me, it was just like really awesome, positive experience, and then for you, it was just another fucking job.
Is that what it is?
Code.
So when it's done, read out your bond to us when it's done.
Oh god, it won't let me click on my character and add it to my character sheet, so I'm just gonna add it to my journal for now.
So when you hover the bond, you'll see a cog, like a gear. You have to click that, and then it makes that.
Well, I mean, like when I click on my character, it doesn't bring up my character sheet at all.
Oh, so it's probably.
I just shows my name transparently.
Yeah, so
in a weird tiny box.
Double click that, so you can minimize and maximize your sheet on your desktop.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you double click the header of your sheet, it like snaps it into a little invisible box, and then you double click it again to expand it. It's really nice.
I'm an idiot and accidentally did that. Okay, so...
No, that's all right. And you learned something cool about Roll20.
And now you're going to roll that joint, am I right? Hey. Okay, so let's pull up my journal.
So yeah, Collin, can you read yours back? Did you write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, read yours first. I don't want to seem like an asshole. No.
Okay, Nyx saved a missing child from my church. I owe them for showing me the value of adventuring.
All right.
Okay, wait. Now I have to type in real quick. Slips and Nyx, haha.
Hey, there it is. And that's the name of the fucking mercenary company that we run.
That's it. Look at that.
Slips and Nyx.
Slips and Nyx.
Well, there's still 2 other characters you all have to write bonds with to be in the party.
We'll find them on our way.
So Finn, when you finish writing yours, let me know and read it out.
I gotcha. And we said snake venom. Let's say maybe a snake rolled up.
No, I think it's spider, because spider stole the kid. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Who was saying something about having an ancient tome earlier?
That was me.
So let's talk about other past adventures you had. Where did you get the ancient tome from? In Mandoor?
No, okay, so actually, upon traveling to the Abbey, like as I was, so we took we paddled upstream I took a boat upstream to Riverford, and then like from Riverford, I made my way through the forest.
Right.
And as I was like going past the gates of Mandoor, a sparrow was flying overhead with this like book in its claws.
Oh, from Mandoor, like over the wall?
Yeah. And a big gust of wind knocked it out of its hand.
Okay. And it's very large. It's very large, like almost the size of your body.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't read the language in it.
Yeah, it would be like what would, as a human, we would consider like a toilet reader, you know, like one of
Mhm.
those palm books kind of style. But for a frog, yeah, it would be like the size of your body.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a back pocket book.
Yeah.
But no, it's huge. Yeah. So found an old tome near gates of Mandoor. Cool. I like that. We can like establish more previous adventures that you've been on, but I want to establish like what your adventure is now. Finn, do you have your bond written?
Yeah. All right, so I saved a missing child for Slip's church, and Slip saved my life from spider venom. Most would leave me for dead, so I'll always be in their debt.
Nice. I like that. So I want to talk about what you think the first quest is. I like doing what's called in media res, meaning we pick up right in the heat of the action. You're already on a quest. I can dream up some stuff if you want, but maybe there's something you can think of together that you all like. Like, what would cause you two to team up? So
Those goddamn rats. No, I'm kidding.
we can do like a pretty straightforward D&D quest to start, and it will blossom into a lot more things, like a trade caravan from the Frog Kingdom, like never made it to Riverford, like never made it past Riverford, and like the Abbey is waiting on precious supplies, so you have to go check on it, kind of thing.
Yeah, nailed it. That's easy. Boom.
Yeah, actually,
like
I like
the
that.
missing caravan quest, like that's a pretty
Yeah.
standard
And
starting
it also
D&D
makes sense
quest.
as to why we're together, and it ties into our bonds, so that makes sense.
So they hire you to go do that, but then I decide that I'm gonna tag along because this is really important.
But wait, Finn? What was your bond again? What was the feeling? The last sentence.
I will always be in their debt.
Right. So, what if it was it could stay I will always be in their debt, but what if it was also I will never I'll never adventure without them, or like without their protection or healing or guidance? Do you like that, or no? Is that too much? If you don't like it, it's fine.
I'm trying to find a way to word that like elegantly. I like the concept. I really do.
Like most would leave me for dead. So like, oh, I value Slip's loyalty above all else.
That makes sense.
So like when you're going on a quest like this, so let's do this. What did you hear? You heard like a nasty rumor about this disappearing caravan. You don't want to believe it's true. Did you hear it was a snake? Did you hear it was rats? Did you hear it was spiders? You probably just defeated quite a few spiders. Did you hear it was something even worse, more monstrous? Ravens? Like there was someone sighted like a large black bird flying over.
I like that idea.
Over Riverford.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe somebody saw like a raven flying over Riverford and thought maybe it'd be linked to the lost caravan.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the music just cut out, that's all.
Just play the Oblivion score. There we go.
Copyright.
That's exactly what you did too.
This one stream cost us $5,000.
Yeah,
fucking-
I actually need to go through and probably clean up the playlist for session 1.
Todd Howard's gonna come for our lives.
We might
tomorrow.
get flagged on YouTube. So session 1 quest. What's the caravan supply bringing to the Abbey that the Abbey's in desperate need of? Is the Abbey like, what's going on at the Abbey right now? I'm gonna say fall has just hit.
There's a bunch of
Thornwood.
we got a bunch of sick kids and they need some medicine.
Well, I was gonna say,
Because fall is it.
what if the Abbey was gearing up for the fall festival?
Yeah, but that's not like crucial supplies.
Well, I like the sick kid thing because think about our size, right? So like let's say like when we start to get sick, it's way more critical than like if we get a cold, it's gonna be way more critical than like if a human gets a cold. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's
So, like-
true. I'm just trying to.
So like maybe when the weather changes, we're trying to get more supplies in to like be proactive towards the kids becoming sick.
Could be. I mean, here's my thing with why I like the festival. It doesn't necessarily have to be urgent. I think the main thing is that good folk might be dead because there's been sighting of a bird, right? And the caravan hasn't come.
Caravan hasn't shown up.
There just needs to be a reason for a caravan to be. I like the festival thing because it was like some nice background flavor as to what's going on. But it could be like the background of the area right now could be that there's a plague kind of spreading. Like there's a new sickness going around. Like it needs to be something that actually adds a background to the whole world other than just like orphanages have sick kids.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking 2 filler episode.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, you're on the right track. I'm just saying let's make it one step more specific, which is like there's a cough that people are getting. So it can become a quest.
I do like the festival idea.
It can be both, though. Why not both?
Huh.
They're gearing up for the festival, and all these kids are sick, and there's this like cough going around. And word is maybe the frogs discovered a cure.
Okay.
For the cough. Turns out it's some sort of spore.
Like a mushroom spore?
Yeah, and the trick is to actually grow a different kind of mushroom in the area, and it will neutralize the spores in the air. Like their spores entangle and breed rather than getting into your lungs.
And the best place to grow that is down where the frogs are, and the people who are trying to spearhead the operation there.
Well, just the frogs.
The church.
The frogs are just good at growing, and like they've been getting the cough too.
They have these really huge celial networks that are like generations old.
Yeah, they just know mushrooms, and word has it you can go down to the frogs, and they will share spores with anyone in the Thornwood, so they can grow their own mushrooms to like neutralize the cough.
Okay, so we gotta go down there to get these here spores.
So let's say the whooping cough has hit. Let's say a strange whooping cough has hit the Abbey. Right before the Harvest Festival.
It's almost harvesting season.
Well, they've been harvesting. Now you gotta have the festival to celebrate all the shit from the harvest. So, a strange whooping cough.
Set the Abbey right before the harvesting festival.
A strange whooping cough has hit the Abbey right before the Harvest Festival. And...
what are we harvesting? Acorns?
Bodies.
Wheat. And
wheat.
Corn.
Weed.
Rumors say... Frog Kingdom.
Yeah, we're going that... We're a church that just grows fucking ganj.
Has a cure for the cough.
You know what I'm saying? That China Road.
So I think here's the cool thing.
We're on the same page.
You can grow these spores, and it will neutralize the mushrooms in the area. But also, if you're poisoned by it, you can eat a little bit of this mushroom material. So they give you spores, but they also give you like a few doses of the antidote, which is just like eat the mushroom and it will cure you.
Okay. Yeah, but it. Yeah, fine. Eat the mushroom and it will cure you.
I've heard that line before.
Yeah, it's like some sort of festival kid. A wook. Man, I need to get a new battery in my laptop.
So they call the cough the black spore. That's like what the sickness is called. Like a certain percentage of the population is just weak to this spore. And when it gets their lungs, it makes them sick. So a strange whooping cough called the black spore has hit the Abbey right before the Harvest Festival, and rumors say the Frog Kingdom has a cure for the cough, a strange mushroom that neutralizes the spores in the air and cures the sickness. Cool. A caravan
We're investigating what happened to the missing caravan that was bringing back.
of traders has yet to return from the
With
Frog
that
Kingdom.
dank ass spore. You know what I mean? We gotta go down to the Frog Kingdom and get that good spore.
What's the name of the mushroom that's the cure? Blue stool? Blue toads?
Blue stool. I like the idea that everything in the Frog Kingdom is like frog themed names.
I like blue stool then.
Blue toads, yeah, definitely. Or like they're called let's look up some frog anatomy real quick.
We'll just do blue toads for now.
Okay.
Frog Kingdom with the spore, because there's no toad people, just frog people with the spores of blue toads. Cool. And then rumors of a large black bird passing over River Ford have also spread. And so Collin, Slip is not the elder at the church, right?
No.
What's the church elder's name?
He's a really, really old mouse. And his name is Howard Splinter.
Okay, hold on. What's his like religious title? Like brother, friar, father?
Father, for sure.
Elder.
Well, I don't know. Elder is a little because there's the elder tree.
Yeah, but I mean, you worship the elder.
And the elder tree is the god of the forest. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So he's Elder Splinter?
Yeah.
What's his first name again?
Howard.
Is he a mouse?
Yes, he's a very old mouse.
That works so well. Howard.
Okay, so he's the leader of the church. Howard Splinter. I love it. Elder Splinter. And he has hired Nyx and company to investigate the caravan.
We're a modest abbey, so we can only afford one mercenary.
Yeah, but he's asked. Well, Nyx will have company because the other people will be in the party already too, and we'll discuss how you all know each other and why they're in the party. But Elder Splinter has paid for Nyx and their like entourage to take care of this, and Nyx has asked you
Squad.
because Nyx values your loyalty above all else. Nyx has asked you to come along.
And you, who values the rush of adventure, said, "Hell yes, brother, I'll be right there."
Finally, a chance to leave this abbey. My bullfrog heart yearns for adventure. I don't know if I want to play him as like this disgusting, croaking, evil, like horrible to listen to monster, or like as like a sprightly young page boy. Like, gee, guys, yeah, I'd love to go on an adventure.
And then when he sings, it's like, "What until we meet again."
Yeah.
But then he's all like this all the time. I think that's a great idea. Until we meet again.
He's got to do the standard like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling."
Nyx
Hello,
says
my ragtime
invited.
girl.
Slip to join.
Also, it's already noted on my character sheet that he has massive, solid black, unblinking eyes.
Nice. As a bullfrog does. Well, I think that concludes session 0, everyone. Great job. Thanks for sticking through that. We covered a lot of lore. We did some world building. We got a lot of better idea of who your characters are and what the dramas in their past are. So one last thing I wanted to ask that you might want to note down as well, Collin. What's your character's age?
So frogs come of age at 1 year, and they live for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that Slip is 5.
Okay.
Just a
So
wee lad.
when you got to the Abbey, how old were you? Like a year old?
3.
You were 3, okay. So have you been back to see your parents since things have settled down and you've grown into the priesthood, or no?
No.
Cool. Good to know. So maybe mark that down, like you have yet to reunite with your parents. Or
Yeah,
like,
I did already.
Or like, and do you write them regularly?
No, we actually haven't had any communication at all.
Cool. Let's say that like the mouse post doesn't go to the Frog Kingdom,
Okay.
and you haven't heard any word of mouth.
Okay.
Cool, and that will be it. That is our session 0. We have a setup for our first adventure, what you all will be doing. We know how you know each other. We know the drama in your character's past and what path in their life led them to being where they are now. I think we have a really great foundation, and I'm super excited for all the details we got done. We did like a really good job, I think. It's like exciting, good lore.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. Very, very excited to start playing. I can't wait to swing my hammer.
I'm hyped.
Well, next week we will actually play our first session. We will pick up after you've already left the Abbey on the road. I'm assuming you're on the road to Riverford to investigate, right? The caravan
Yes.
was supposed to come from the southward from the Frog Kingdom up to Riverford and then up to the Abbey, and then it's going to circle back around to Blue Cliff. But the mouse post to Riverford says that they never even reached Riverford yet. They're like a week late. No sign of them. And then this bird flew over. So we'll pick up with you on your road through the Northwood towards Riverford for session 1 next time.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Collin and Finn, thank you so much for being here. I think you're both going to be amazing cast members. I can't wait to get this campaign going. I hope you're excited to play little tiny animals.
Role playing a frog is a huge honor for me, honestly.
You're like, actually, thank you.
Yeah, for giving me this opportunity. I have wanted to role play a frog my whole life.
Awesome. Well, we have your characters built, and everyone who tuned in chat, we had a lot of people tuning in all night long, and it was really good. And if you're listening to this,
still have people tuning in on that too.
Yeah. Oh, Mondo just got here. I'm sorry, Mondo. Well, I'm gonna hit end on the video, and the VOD will be up in like 30 seconds if you want to watch the replay. If not, this will be on YouTube next week. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much. Smash the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on podcast, leave a review, follow, all that stuff. This is probably a long, boring, like side episode podcast since it's session 0. We did a lot of talking. But anyway, it was great to have you two here, and I'm excited for next time. And everybody who's listening and tuning in, thanks so much. Goodbye. We will see you then, my friends.
Bye.
Bye.